OTAs. All right. The content keeps churning. The wheels keep on burning. All right. We got OTAs. It's coming, or they're coming up. And we are going to see who we have our eye on. 5 players. 5 from Boy Green. Don't know what's happening to me right now. 5 from James Wudi. Could be 10. Could be some crossover. Could end up with a final 8. But you're going to listen to the players that we want to talk about today on Boy Green Meets Wudi.
Can you guys help us get a jet chant here? Yeah, going.
Oh.
Okay, right, yeah. Come on in. Yeah.
Okay, let's go! A-E-T-S, jet, jet, jet! Let's go! A-E-T-S, jet, jet, jet! Let's go! There you go, Wudi!
Third Party Thursday.
Chris joining us here on the program with a capital P here on the program.
Jake Asman, come on down. How you doing, good sir?
Wow, what an intro. I mean, Boy Green is known for having the intro, but Wudi, that was unreal, man. Thanks for the kind words, son.
We are men of many names.
My favorite Austrian Jets fan right there,
Nice.
baby.
Boy Green
Meets Wudi. Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy James Wudi, and you already know we are Wudi, rocking everywhere. And right here is the boy who became king, who just beautifully hit that right on point. All right, you already know he is Mr. Paul Esden Jr. How you doing, my good sir?
One of my favorite, and I don't know why this suddenly jumped into my, maybe it was just hit him with it. That it was one of my favorite sack celebrations is Jermaine Johnson's. He grabs like the Thor hammer and goes, yeah! It's probably the tomahawk from Florida State, but either way, the warhawk, yata! You know, that one's, I'm looking forward to seeing more of that in 2025. So I'm fired up, Woody. I love this show. And I see we have all these different members of the Boy Green Coffee Club in the comment section. Shout out to Bubba Badshaw, Terrence Hill, EZ Hep. It's amazing to see so many supporting members out in the comment section as we're streaming live in not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. You said 5. There might be a top 8 crossover. Well, I know there's 5 destinations we're streaming to. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, your Instagram, my Instagram, your mama's Instagram, and YouTube, baby. Take Flight Talk. All things New York Jets all the time. Boy Green Meets Wudi and all the other crazy shit that Wudi does off hours. It gets pretty wild. Yeah.
Yes. It is a great time to be alive. All right. To follow all those platforms. Show us some love. You know, it is free to follow. All right. To hit the like button. You know, we're going to be doing all those things. Oh, but I have just seen something, Boy Green. I'm not sure if you've checked Twitter. Can you hit me with that ESPN chime?
Oh, no, I have no idea what this is.
In.
Okay, here we go. Sure.
Here we go. I actually have just received word that the Boston Celtics have actually decided to forego going to Cancun. And they are actually just going to go to Six Flags instead. They are losers. They are losers. And just like how I promised you last week, I said last week was the last episode that both of our NBA teams would be alive. I told you that. And the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson, he unpulled that plug, pulled that plug, and the Celtics are dead. They are dead. D-E-A-D. That is what you are to me. Dead. The Boston Celtics are gone. And on to these Pacers. I see Indy Jets in the comments. No reason for you to be excited. Take that woo back, because in 5 games, the New York Knickerbockers will be going to the NBA Finals.
Wow. You know what's funny? As I gather myself. When you said, oh, snap, I don't know if you've checked Twitter. Again, we talked about how I wear the watch now, and it gave a little ba-ding right before you said that. I'm like, and I'm like, I won't look. I'm like, oh, snap, they're breaking crazy-ass news app. I'm like, all right, Wudi gets to deliver it to me this time. Let's roll. And then you delivered me that. You son of a flying everything that's holy. Hey, here's the thing. Wudi, you can speak for Knicks fans. So I don't know where this is going to go from here. But now that the Celtics have been vanquished, destroyed, annihilated, obliterated, removed from the face of the earth, I made a bet with Chef Kevin Gilbert that for a month, I think it's from like the 18th or 19th. I'm losing track of days. It doesn't really matter. For a calendar year, basically, I can't wear a cross. And I assume he means Boy Green meets Wudi, Boy Green Daily, everywhere on all the shows. I cannot wear any C's gear. So that's gone for the next calendar year. So you won't see me. The only green you're going to be seeing is Jets green. That's it.
Hey.
Okay. And, I told everybody that now that the Celtics have been eliminated, I'm rooting for the Knicks. I want the Knicks to win the whole damn thing. I want them to beat the Pacers, even though there's a bet on the other side that would hurt me if the Knicks win the full championship. Despite that because I can't say no to a bet, apparently. Besides that point, I will be rooting. I will be a big Knicks fan the rest of the way.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if you know.
I don't know if you want me, but
yeah, no, you got to fill out an application. We'll see. We'll get back to you in 2 to 3 business days. But for right now, for everybody that's been riding with us, 25 years of Michael Sweeney, Ronaldo Bulkman, Kevin Knox, 25 years. We out here. I'm telling you, 5 games. That's all it's gonna take to send Tyrese Halliburton home to WWE, wherever you want to go. Just can't be in the finals because that is the Knicks. That is the Knicks destination. Knicks.
Hey, a big shout out here. Badshot says Paul's keeping that green beverage in hand. Yeah, the only reason I drink this is because of my Jet fandom. I don't like the taste at all. I do it for the brand. Boy Green. Well, everything I eat or consume must be some shade of green. That's why. You know.
Green
so salute to Badshot. You know. But in all seriousness, thank you. Yes, awesome. Knicks win. That was quite painful last week, but now that I've been beaten and bludgeoned with Thor's hammer, I'm now like, all right, go New York, go New York, go. Because you go to one of my favorite movies of all time. You go back to the '90s of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we're having Vanilla Ice going, go Ninja, go Ninja, go. As you start going through some of that, I'm in full New York mode. So let's see what happens, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we will talk about the team that we both root for 365 days a year, and that is the New York Jets. Okay. That they are the green. We both rocking Jets apparel today, right? And the OTAs starting up, I feel like it's just part of the routine, right? We're just doing the routine, just going through it. No contact, but we still running drills. We still doing workouts. We still, Aaron Glenn is coaching. He's doing his thing, and players are going to be working hard. So, we definitely there are certain players that we definitely going to have our eye on because we want to see how this is going, right?
Yeah.
And I think for Boy Green, right? I mean, the common theme of this entire offseason is that you feel that the offseason has gone one way. I feel like the offseason has gone another.
Sure.
So I think a big part of this is almost validating our own thoughts. It's like, oh, well, this, look at this guy. This is proof that this is happening this way. And of course, same thing over here. Oh, look at this guy. This is proof that this is going this way. So anything you'd like to add about OTAs in general, what they mean for the team and stuff like that?
Well, first off, I want to give a shout out to Johnny Zipioli, who says, who's your favorite TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? And that's such a pressing question. Michelangelo, obviously, radical, groovy, tubular. Yeah, it's definitely Michelangelo. He's the party animal, baby. Come on now. It's definitely Michelangelo. So thank you so much for that question. I appreciate that. Again, the 90s movies.
Yeah, definitely easy. I could have guessed that one.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Shout out Leonardo though. Shout out Leonardo. I'm talking about.
There you go.
That's
samurai sword action. Nice. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can't go wrong there. That's 100%. And again, the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over whatever bullshit is going on right now. I've accidentally some of what in the hell is going on out there in the streets? I have no idea. But anywho, they got it right in the 90s. The costumes, all that stuff was cool. Anywho. for OTAs, it's again, to reiterate, this is a voluntary portion of the offseason continuing here. The mandatory part is coming up with the minicamp. That's a final leg before we break and then go to training camp. It's June 10th through the 12th. It's a 3-day mandatory minicamp. Obviously, in the name, mandatory. Okay, so OTAs, off-season training activities here, voluntary. So keep that in mind as we're going through this process. But I'm excited because it means we're another step closer to football, Wudi. There are 10 of these OTA practices that are going to be sprinkled in over the next 3 weeks. And then we have that mandatory minicamp. And then we have the true doldrum of the summer where we're just in lull mode and we're going to get into all kinds of crazy, funky content. But we're going to have content to talk about. Aaron Glenn speaks to the media tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And we could talk about some of that, I'm sure, on Thursday's show. But I'm excited, man, because now we're getting the blending. And we had a little bit of this with some of the other voluntary workouts before OTA started. But rookies and veterans now all assimilating together as part of the team. And this is where Aaron Glenn really gets to get his fingerprints all over this group before we get to training camp. So this is an exciting part for me of this offseason program. Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, absolutely. Like we said, we got things coming up. There is a little bit of that lull time, but you already know with Boy Green and Wudi, there's never too much lull. All right. So we let's get started. Let's get started with this list and see who our focus is on. I'm very curious, right? Like I feel like a lot of times with our lists, right, there are a lot of obvious answers, right? All right, we all knew the Jets and the Steelers, popular games, stuff like that. This time around, I don't know who you're looking at. I really don't. So I definitely think it will be interesting to see how our top fives shape up.
Okay, so who's going first?
You can go first.
Okay, beautiful. Let's hit it.
Number 5.
The key word here is compete. Compete with a capital C. Compete. Okay, that's what Aaron Glenn's all about. So number 5, I'm actually going to cheat. I'm putting 2 players here.
Oh,
I'm breaking the rules. I'm talking about the kicking competition, baby. Kicker. Give me kicker.
Wow.
I'm putting that at number 5 because this is the beginning of that competition process that we're talking about here at number 5. And I know we didn't pour one out, so shame on you, Wudi, for Greg the Legatron, Greg Zerline, the Z-Man. He has departed us since the last episode. First off, if you're going to cut him, I don't know why we waited all the way till now, but that's neither here nor there. But you've now moved on from Greg Zerline, which means we have a battle between 2 unknowns, relatively speaking. The veteran of the group, he's 26, he's 6'5", 220 pounds. Anders Carlson. Obviously, he started off the year last year on the 49ers. He was an injury replacement, was 100%. Can't get better than that on his field goals. And we're like, great. Look at this Norwegian bastard, wherever the hell he's from. Awesome. Come on now. We got Anders Carlson, who was sort of in the mix with us. He was 8 of 10 on field goals. I didn't like how many extra points he was missing. That's sort of concerning. But from a field goal perspective, 80% conversion rate, fine. And again, it was middle of the year stuff. So obviously you have Anders in here. And then exciting that you took a youngster who was a undrafted rookie. Caden Davis, who has a massive leg, according to all kicking people that I speak with. So these 2 are going to go into the proverbial octagon, and the OTAs is the beginning of this competition. And I assume that will continue through training camp. You have 90 men on the roster. They're going to commit 2 spots to kicker. Eventually, that will separate. So, yeah, number 5 on the list for me is kicker, man. There's going to be some competing going on here. And I assume we won't do snake. We'll just kind of go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1 all the way through this list. But, yeah, I got to put kickers here. Number 5, competition. Compete.
Wow. I can't lie. That's a fantastic answer. If you got me second guessing my top 5 already, Boy Green. That's a really good answer. And had we been paying attention, had we kept an eye out on the kicking this time last year, we would have seen some foreshadowing. Greg was missing in July. He was. And what's his name? I'm forgetting his name right now. You definitely know it because he's on the Commanders, I believe, right? He went to the Commanders. The other kicker we had was it Spencer Schrader?
Oh yeah, Seibert you're talking about? Or
Seibert? Yeah, was it Seibert?
Yeah,
Seibert. The other kicker we had last season. Are you sure it wasn't?
Yeah,
Schrader?
I'll double. Spencer Schrader we had in the middle of the year, and then he went to the Chiefs. So we had a guy at the beginning of the year. That's the one I believe you're trying to indicate. It's the one, Siebert. Yeah, Dakota confirmed.
Siebert, okay.
Yes, before the year, we had Siebert and Greg Zuerlein going at it. Zuerlein looked a little questionable, but we all said, Zuerlein will be fine, right? And Siebert was perfect in the preseason. Washington picks him up, and he's awesome for them. We're like, son of a, and Zuerlein sucks. So, it was Siebert before the year. We did also, to your point, because why not Jets and kickers? We lost Spencer Schrader in the middle of the year, fucking around getting cute with the roster. And Spencer's like, fuck you, I'm going to the Chiefs. And we went, son of a. Yeah, so, we've been slapped around all over the place at kicker, long story short.
Definitely been slapped around, but yes, specifically with Siebert and Zuerlein, right? One kicker was looking better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
We went with the with the guy that we had, which I was perfectly okay with at that time. But again, if we were looking at it, with a close eye back then, maybe we wouldn't have all been the landslide for Zuerlein. So to have your eye on it right now, I love it. I love it. My God.
Number 5.
Oh, whoops. Got trigger happy there, but
all good. I'll say that was a fantastic start. My start, definitely a controversial name. I don't even know if he's going to OTAs, but I would like him to be there. And that is none other than number 1 in our hearts. Maybe not in our hearts, but definitely number 1 on his jersey, Sauce Gardner. All right. I think Sauce, this is a very it's a big year for him. All right. I've always felt the same about Sauce. I know the Jets fan base have been very high, very low, but I pretty much felt the same way. I think he has a lot of technical skills, right? He is an elite technician at the cornerback position, but not the best athlete, right? He's not, the fastest corner, doesn't have, the elite lateral quickness or anything like that. But because of his position and the length of his arms, right, he's able to make plays on the ball, even though don't really catch him like that. So what I want to see right now is how he attacks this offseason. A, is he at OTAs? B, what is he like? Is he keeping up with Garrett? I know that was one thing that we used to say, iron sharpening iron, but my man was looking a little bit dull last year. So I want to see how in this new regime, this new coach, everyone keeps trying to say, Aaron Glenn, if we trust Aaron Glenn with any one position, it's going to be the position that he played. So let's see his impact on Sauce Gardner. That's something that I'm really, really looking forward to, really trying to dive deep into, because if Sauce can return to all-pro form, that'll help me feel a lot better about this team moving forward.
I will just say this because I can't speak whether or not Sauce is there right now. I don't know. But through the first 2 voluntary phases of the offseason, Sauce has been there. So salute to Sauce and Garrett, for that matter, as 2 guys who, hey, we want to get paid. We want to get paid. We want to get paid. A lot of people in today's day and age are like, hey, suck on this voluntary. You want me there? Pay me the money. Show me the money. Right? He could be going all Jerry Maguire on us. But again, so far this offseason he's been there. So I would assume, why wouldn't he also be there for this? So we'll keep an eye out for that. And shout out to, I guess, a new feature where comments are now on the screen at the same time that we're doing the show. So shout out to Dakota and others that are now here on screen. So a cool new feature of StreamYard, I suppose. So welcome some of you guys also here on the screen. Appreciate it. So keep those comments flying. We appreciate it. Dakotas, Gohan, Angerds, and so many others. Rico the Pup, Bad Sean, all you guys. Thank you for commenting in here on the show. And hey, now let's get a YouTube super chat message in here. Why wouldn't we? Here on the program, every time we get one of those here from Data Soraya Luna.
Wow.
Zoink Nation, member for a year. It's your anniversary. Congratulations. Chicken palm is good. Hell yeah, it is. Zoink Nation, for goodness sake. Let's love some chicken palm. You know what I'm saying? Some chicken palm. Yeah.
No lies told.
Okay, there you go. Appreciate it, Zoink Nation. Way to get that in when you can, baby. Hell yeah. All that and more coming up on the program. And Yoham's like, hey, look, I'm on the TV, Mom. Take a picture. Put it on the refrigerator, baby. You damn straight you are. There you go. The cool possibilities of technology, apparently. Appreciate that. All right, let's go to next on the list here, Woodster. Let's go to next on the list. I love your pick of Sauce because how does he bounce back and get different coaching? There is some elite level coaching in that secondary for the New York Jets. Can that take Sauce to another level? That'd be pretty cool to see if that does indeed exist. So let's go here.
Number 4.
Dakota, thanks for all the blue and orange hearts, you bastard. Go New York, go New York, go.
You
okay,
just said you were rooting for New York.
I know.
Now all of a sudden,
it takes time, man. It takes time. Go New York, go. Okay.
And no rhythm at all. But okay, all right.
All right. Let's do another one here. Compete. We're going punter, baby. It's punt time. It's punter. At number 4 for me, again, I'm still sort of beat up about my boy Thomas Morstead no longer being on the team. Hopefully he gets an opportunity somewhere in the National Football League. He's a great guy. The Jets have 2 punters. And in the same case, this one even more so, but sort of in the same case of 2 unproven guys sort of going head-to-head. Anders Carlson, at least a kicker, has some experience. There's very minimal experience here. There's Austin McNamara. The Jets signed him back a bunch of weeks ago. He was in the Bengals training camp, so he signed with them after as an undrafted free agent, lasted like 4 or 5 months with the team, then got cut in early August, and that was it. That's his entirety of his experience. So, unknown. And then they added here Kai Kroger, okay? He's an undrafted rookie out of South Carolina, no NFL experience. So the Jets are like, Aaron Glenn is like, I hate old people. Let's throw 2 young cats out there that's making – like, minimum wage, and let's hopefully one of them knows how to punch a football. So I'm interested at the competition. What happens again? Same thing with OTAs. This is the start of competition, but also if I'm being honest, I'm a little nervous because the Jets went through an era, and we knew it because our Jets team was so bad we had time to focus on other things. Our punting has been really bad for a long time, pre-Thomas Morstead era, and for like a decade it was shitty. And when it's shitty, you know it. When it's good, you sort of forget about it. You're like, right, it's just good. Of course it is. But like when it's crappy and you're a bad team, shank punts, block punts, all kinds of terrible things can happen. So I'm a little nervous, to be honest, that they're going this cheapo and just looking at a bottom line and how can we save a few shekels here. I think this should matter a little bit more, especially with AG talking about how important special teams are. Maybe they have a gem here in Kai Kroger, but another competition to see who ends up being punter 1 for NYJ. Number 4, punter.
Can't lie. Another fantastic choice. I probably would have flipped the order, but I respect the sentiment behind both. And I think both are very important, and I think both are somewhat overlooked. Like you just said, the price of poor punting, there are 3 phases to this game, and you need, all 3 to either, to really be on point, but to at least complement each other in order to win games, which is what this regime is saying that they're set out to do. So to leave it in the hands of these, babies, in Aaron Glenn's daycare, I mean, we'll see. Because, I got a couple babies of my own and, they make a lot of stinkies, every day. So let's see if, Kai Kroger, is he about to make some stinkies or, is he about to shock the world?
Good question.
Number 4.
Woody?
I'm still looking at this position. Sauce is the top dog. But when you go down a little lower than that, we got a competition. Boy Green just said, compete. We're looking at different players. So allow me to put our attention to Azarie Thomas, right? And Quantez Stiggers, right? That's something where, we were high on, Stiggers, loved his story, all that type of stuff. Didn't really get a chance to play, which was the expectation. Sauce, we got DJ, we out here, we were pretty stacked. Now, in the offseason, you got the veteran, and now we drafted the young blood, Azarie Thomas. I really like Thomas a lot, actually. After, looking at some of the clips, getting myself more familiar with him, I think he is fantastic. He is the athlete that I'm looking for at that position in terms of, speed and quickness. If he can, pick up some things from Sauce in terms of the precision and hip movement and stuff like that. I think this guy could be the shutdown corner for the Jets. That's how highly I think of him. So I'm super curious to see how he operates right now in the OTAs, right? In order to get going, there, it all starts in these early months, in May, in June, in July. So I definitely have my eye there to see, because that's a battle. That's a battle between these two young pups. These two young pups. I want to see how that battle goes, and it starts in May.
Now, I'll say this. Normally, when I'm at a party, I'm not a big fan of people that double dip. But in this particular case, you double dipping at the cornerback position, I ain't got no problems with. So dip away, my friend, dip away. But get all your double dipping out now, because when we get to the Boy Green Wudi tailgate party, that will be incredibly frowned upon at MetLife Stadium. That is for certain. All right, let's go to the next one on the list here.
Number 3.
And this is an intriguing position for the New York Jets. It has been for many years. I'm going to go with my boy, Andre Cisco, out of Syracuse. One of the top free agents they signed in free agency. Boy out of Syracuse, coming off a rough year in Jacksonville, but Jacksonville was coming off a rough year of Jacksonville themselves, if we're being honest. Coaching staff and players and all kinds of tomfoolery happening out there. But I appreciate the Jets identifying a diamond in the rough here. Jacksonville was a very shitty situation, and Cisco struggled. He deserves some blame, no doubt about it. But dusting it off and seeing what this man has done previously and seeing the openness of the safety position. Is Tony Adams starting? We don't have Ashton Davis anymore. No Chuck Clark anymore. I would assume Cisco is certainly starting. But how does he look in this period of the offseason? How does he bounce back? Because, again, the Jets are taking a one-year flyer on him. The pressure is on Cisco to say, is the breadth of your career the real deal, or what we saw most recently, is that a drop-off? Is that what you're going to be? Because the common length, the average length of an NFL career is 3 years. Maybe just Cisco is done. Maybe that's what some people think. He had his pop and then the moment's over. To me, I view him in a much higher light. As a matter of fact, I'm here at the radio station, and I was going through old files, and I stumbled upon my interview with Andre Cisco when he was here in college in our one-on-one interview at the Dome. And we were talking. I just heard it, and I'm listening back through as he talked about his aspirations of making the league and things that were important to him. And it just drove me to certainly put his name on this list, despite the fact I was already thinking about him. So I was like, you know what? Andre Cisco needs to be on this list. That's definitely a player I'm watching, because the safety position is a position I think we're going to be watching pretty intently as we progress through the season.
More facts. My God, Boy Green's cooking up today. It's more facts. I think we all have kind of just penciled it in as like, oh, okay, Cisco, right? He's definitely, slotted in, and they're more looking at Tony Adams and
Sure.
what we got going, Malachi Moore, right? What's going on further on the depth chart. But Cisco, he's coming off a shaky year. He needs to solidify, right? We can't take things for granted. And I think that is a common theme of the Boy Green list so far that I'm seeing, is that we're looking at things and positions that just the general public are taking for granted. But Boy Green, he got that sharp eye, right? He looking all up and down the field at things that actually impact the game at a high level. So right now, I can't lie, you cooking with this list.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Number 3.
This is a personal one. All right. Of course, right. This is the Wudi list. So I guess, it's who I'm looking at for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And this door right here behind me is actually a closet. All right. Inside the closet, I have a jersey, right, with the 2-0 on it, right, and the letters HALL. That's Brees Hall, baby. I think Brees, the whole fan base is ready to get rid of him, right? They pretty much have traded him off for a 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick, 2 McChickens, and a large fry. I think Brees needs to remind these people who he is, and I think that starts in May. He's somebody who I think definitely needs to show up at OTAs. Everybody else, right, got their 5th year extended. Of course, he's not a 1st-round pick, so he has a lot to prove not only to himself, but also to this new regime that, he wants to stick around. And in OTA specifically, no contact, right? It favors the skill position players. So this is something where Brees needs to light it up, right? Like he needs to really stand out. Aaron Glenn, he's already been on record talking about, we got 3 running backs that we really like. Now my man's from Michigan, they have another running back. If Brees, is who he feels like he is, then he needs to make it perfectly clear, abundantly clear that he is a, man amongst boys and really establish himself. No contacts, nobody's hitting him. Let's go, Brees Hall. Show those hands, boy, because he had a couple of drops. He was dropping a couple of passes from Mr. Rogers. So come on now. I definitely got my eye on Brees Hall. This is a huge year for him.
Yeah, I will say this, because one of the men you mentioned is Donovan Edwards, the undrafted free agent out of Michigan. And I wrote an article about him, like that there seemed to be a lot of buzz from beat reporters that were at the rookie minicamp that he was the clear winner of the group. And I wrote a piece about it, and it went viral on Twitter among Michigan people saying, we knew it. We knew he had all this hoopla and possible. And I was like, holy, I didn't anticipate it blowing up like that. I went, oh, okay. And apparently a nickname for Donovan Edwards is the Don. And I went, oh, I didn't know that was his nickname. So Michigan people just kept quoting the article going, the Don, the Don. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I will try to apply that nickname to the NFL level. So shout out to the Don, who, again, to me will be RB4 on this roster. And I'd like to shout out to Brees. Contract year, all the pressure's on him. And we'll see. They say pressures make diamonds. Maybe Brees is about to get paid buco bucks by somebody, whether it's the Jets or someone else. All right, let's go to it. Let's hit them with
Number 2.
Number 2. This is one of the most intriguing players to me on the entire roster. And the OTAs is an interesting part of the storyline. Quincy Williams. And here's why. Now, Quincy, to his credit, has been at all the OTAs so far that we've seen. He's been featured on the team website. Now, they don't take official attendance because technically that would be illegal. And here, not illegal for them. They take attendance, but it would put pressure on people if they revealed who was there and who wasn't, because it's supposed to be voluntary. So they said, hey, everyone's here except Quincy, right? Like that would look bad on Quincy. So the NFLPA makes sure that they don't do that. But a way you can do it organically is look every day, the Jets on NewYorkJets.com. Here are photos of today's workout. Doot, 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 doot. Swipe left, right, left, right, left. Oh, there's Quincy. Oh, there's Sauce. Oh, there's Garrett. And you can see who's there and who's not there based on the pictures. It's not a foolproof, but it shows a lot of players. Anywho, Quincy has shown up so far. But, like, I made a joke on social media the other day because Fred Warner just got paid by the 49ers, and he's now the highest paid linebacker in football. And the Athletic showed the top 10 highest paid linebackers in football, right? Roquan Smith, Fred Warner. Oh, Jamin Sherwood. There he is in the top 5. Quincy's like, where the hell am I? And this is where we get complicated. Apparently, according to Rich Cimini, the old regime promised Quincy Williams, we're going to shred up your new deal ahead of 2025. You're not going to have to go play on your final year. That's what they told him. Well, that regime got fired. So promise broken? Like, who is to answer for that now? New regime comes in. They pay Jamin Sherwood. Quincy's like, Jamin Sherwood didn't get no first-team All-Pro. I know I did. Now he's getting triple my salary. What the hell? Long story short, it's a little bit awkward, if we're being honest. But Quincy, to his credit, has not made it any more awkward than it is by us talking about it. He's been showing up. I'm curious, does he just go turn the cap backward and say, you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm about to give another first-team All-Pro season, and then you guys are either going to pay me, you're going to tag me, or someone else is going to give me the bag. And maybe that's his mentality. Maybe just aggressively attacks that. But I am keeping an eye on Quincy Williams as a guy that's shown up throughout the voluntary OTA so far that we've seen, the voluntary workouts, so far. Does he continue to? Have the Jets told him anything about his hanging contract situation? This is a very storyline driven to me of putting him at number 2 on the list. Fascinating. I'm curious what they do with this.
My God. I mean, that's another good one. Another good one. Quincy, that was something I mentioned pre-Sherwood extension, that, Quincy is better. I expect him to be better this year. So what is that going to do? And you pretty much have outlined what has happened since. Right now they got Gio. Gio's over there. I don't know how many. Do they have more brothers? I don't know, but
That's a good point.
yeah, they but a third one has joined the squad. So I would imagine it's important for all three of them to try to be the first trio of brother. I know Giovanni said that, but he's the one with the least pull right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true. And
so-
currently, Gio has not made the team from everything we've seen, so he is he's watching from the outside of the club. But obviously, that can change based on an injury or what knows. Who knows what's going to happen over the coming months?
Of course, and the fact that he plays the same position as Quincy, I think it's super relevant. And like what you said, I think that is something that Quincy is considering in his decision. I don't think he would act the same way without Gio on the squad that he would act with Gio on the squad. This is a real opportunity to kind of be a big brother and show little bro, like, hey, man, you want to make it? I've been considered one team's trash, and now I'm the treasure. Let me show you how to get that done, and really put, the rubber to the road. So I think that is something we're going to see. But of course, it's worth keeping our eye on to ensure that it happens.
Number 2.
This is one again. Remember, I said OTAs, no contact. It really favors, if we're talking secondary or on offense, we're talking skill position players. One skill position player that I don't know a lot about, and that's because I'm not out here. I'm not our guy Ryan Roberts scouting the college ranks right like that. Is our guy second generation Mason Taylor, all right, somebody who has just been around football, breathes football, eats football, his stinkies smell like football, all right, but I just want to see him out there on the field, see what he can do, because he has a big role, in terms of drafting a tight end. Last time we drafted a tight end, he knew from the jump he was TE3. There was no climbing up the ladder. There was no rungs on his ladder. He just had to, do his thing. For Mason Taylor, it seems like he is given the keys, right? I don't expect him to lose the job, but I want to see how he performs. This is going to be, some of his earliest reps with those guys. I want to see how he performs. And from the scouting report, right, find whichever report that works for you. I always see, all right, Taylor, blocking, could be an issue. Well, guess what? No TAs, there's no contact, so we ain't got to worry about that. Let's see those hands. Let's see those routes. I definitely have my eye on the man that's supposed to be TE1 for the foreseeable future.
Number 1.
I'm not going to get cute here. I'm not going to have some answer where he's like, geez, what in the world was your interpretation of the top 5 players to watch? And it's some crazy thing. I'm just going to be straight up. It's Justin Fields. And it's not, of course, this is going to happen. The reporters are going to be like, Justin Fields, incomplete pass. Justin Fields, a completed pass. He was 12 of 15 at OTA practices. They're going to do that. We're all going to overanalyze that. But to me, it's not just Justin Fields completing pass or not. The leadership, the moxie, the vibe. This is his team. How does he command the huddle? What's sort of the media's interpretation of what they're able to see during these OTA practices? Obviously, there's going to be media availability with Glenn and these players and all that. I'm just sort of interested to see the vibe. The Jets have never, and this is not hyperbolic, the Jets have never had a quarterback like this before. In the modern era, shout out to Rich Samini for this nugget, the quarterback that's run for the most yards as a quarterback is Geno Smith with like 350 when he was a rookie in 2013. That's the most rushing yards any quarterback has had for the Jets in like 50 years. Justin Fields has a season on his resume where he ran for 1,100 yards. Think about it. Quadruple Geno Smith's best rushing performance ever with the Jets. We have a different cat operating our offense. We have never seen this before. Sometimes you hear that from the season ticket holders. Wow, get your Jets tickets. You've never seen them before. We're like, we've seen this. We've seen this. Justin Fields, we have not. So I'm curious to see what the offense looks like. Obviously, there'll be little breadcrumbs. Tanner Ringstrom is not going to unload the bag so media sees it and goes and reports what it is. But we're going to start to see what this is supposed to look like. We all assume a a heavier lean run game. Some levels have conservative in nature, but it really sounds like Aaron Glenn wants Justin Fields to play quarterback. I'm curious, what does that mean? We will see as we go through OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, and things of that nature. He's the quarterback, man. He's the QB1. There's no competition. He's the guy. And I'm fascinated to see the ups, downs, ebbs, and flows of what that's going to look like with him running this operation.
Yeah, I think, as you get later into the year, it will be interesting. For this right now, I can't lie. Maybe it's just like an overration of the QB position. Just all right. Let's throw the QB in there. But like you said, whatever the numbers are, he was 9 for 12, he was 12 for 12, 2 for 12. There's I wouldn't hold too much stock in those numbers, especially without pads. So allow me to bring up my person.
Sure. You're +1. You're only one.
Number 1.
Sure.
This is a competition, another compete. I want to see, because I don't give up on people too easily. There was a time where I was out here rooting for Elijah Moore to get more targets when he was asking for targets. But he gone. And I was questioning why Denzel Mims needed to play special teams. He gone. But I'm not sure if this player is just another version of those I guess failed stories. Malachi Corley, he was the Yak King. They crowned him. They were saying all these things. We had Steve Smith going on record saying this is the most underrated receiver. And the boy, he did not play. I would like to believe that was more of a favoritism thing from Aaron Rodgers. Now that does not exist, right? It is Aaron Glenn's daycare. So right off the bat, Corley fits. He is age appropriate for Aaron Glenn. And now it's, can he find a way to get himself on the field? The one time we saw him have the ball, he looked pretty shifty, pretty quick, So now I want to see what he can do in OTAs. This is our first start at kind of seeing. I mean, do we know the starting wide receiver trio? I think, you can sound off in the comments, right? Everyone who's in the comments right now, tell me what you think the trio is. I don't think we're going to have the same answer, right? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't think Boyd Green and I even have the same answer.
All right, let's go. Go ahead. Who's your starting three? Right.
Well, I don't even know. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer.
Wow.
Right now.
Okay. Well, that answers it right there. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But Corley is someone who I think is worth consideration for being in the trio. And I think this is, it's not even that I think. This is his first, real chance to prove to the coaching staff that he deserves to be in the trio, that he deserves to be somebody in this league. If he actually, in fact, does, this is when that starts right now. There's no one, I feel like, who needs this more than Malachi Corley. Everybody else, Brees, I guess, right? This is a crossroads for him. But I feel like even if the Jets dump him, someone else, who have seen his tape, he's getting picked up. If Malachi Corley gets dumped, my man's is in the USFL. So this is make or break. He can be broken. I don't think anyone should be valuing this OTAs as much as Malachi Corley.
And I will add one honorable mention here. And it's not because I should have put it on the list, just to explain, because I think this is one that maybe a lot of people, given the headline of top 5 Jet players, you're keeping an eye out for. I didn't include any defensive tackles, which is an interesting competition thing. In OTAs, Wudi just described it. I described it on the morning show. There is very limited contact and things you're allowed to do at this phase of the offseason. We're not in training camp yet. We're not getting in brawls where it's one-on-one Byron Cowart versus Joe Tippmann or anything like that. All of that sort of stuff is restricted. So long story short, it's hard to evaluate defensive tackle play because they're just going against air. You can't really take a lot from that, at least from my perspective. I'm sure the coaches and other people can. So I just wanted to explain that part of it, that, I have no defensive tackles or anything of that nature on the list because of the trench warfare. It's hard to interpret those sort of things at this stage of the offseason.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree that, that's what I said before. And yeah, we definitely will be talking about them because, like you said, that's a battle. The DT, our boy LT3, we are rooting for him, or Mr. Nadi. We'll see what happens at DT. But until then, we are looking at OTAs where there's not a lot of contact.
Bing, boom, bam. Shout out to the 200 people that are in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Again, we're streaming live in 5 different places. Shout out to everyone who's in here, including Jets Worldwide, who's just joining us. Hey, Paul and Wudi. Again, no matter where you're watching, make sure you show your support. Again, I'm on all my social media portals, Instagram, Twitter, and here on YouTube. The best and most optimal way to enjoy the show by liking that video, hitting subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos as we make a chase to 10,000 subscribers, baby. But also, I want to help my man Wudi here. He's also growing his own plants in his garden, and they need water and nurturing and love and TLC and everything in between. You can help. Take Flight Talk. I feel like I'm whatever that one chick's name is with the do you want to help a orphaned puppy today? I felt a little bit like that. McLaughlin, right? Yeah, Sarah McLaughlin. And then just I just got to get sad picture of Woody going or on the screen to help out. Throw a pity, likes, and subscriptions, but they all count the same, baby. So take Flight Talk, baby. Make sure you jump over there and show your love, baby. Here on the program, we appreciate it. So another fun show, and again, OTAs began earlier today. Aaron Glenn speaks tomorrow. We're going to have OTAs for the next 3 weeks, then a mandatory minicamp after that. Football is football, and then we'll have that big gap, Woody. But plenty of content coming over the coming weeks.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the love from my little god and Take Flight. I do not have THC in the plants, I don't think. But you know what? We get high with the takes. All right, we get high on knowledge, high on numbers. I did respond to, or not respond, but react to the cutting of Greg Zuerlein. So those are the types of things, right? Where it happens. I'm not on this show. What is Wudi thinking about it? What does he have to say? Boom, Take Flight Talk. That's where we're talking about it. So that's an example. But we got different things happening. And then, of course, Abby will be posting stuff on there as well. Dope. So, yeah, we got things cooking up. And, of course, as things, take place, we will be reacting. Shout out to Lawson and Six Flags doing their thing. And shout out to the New York Knicks, baby. We out here. We on the road to the finals, man. We on the road to the finals. There's nothing, and I mean nothing, that Halle Berry can do about the Knicks' destiny to get to the NBA Finals. Woohoo! This is the year. This is the year. The time is coming.
I would just say this, well, Knicks fans, when you only go to the conference finals once every quarter century, you got to make the most of it, baby. So you're there against the Pacers, the team that beat your ass last year. Now's your chance to rewrite that history. So let's go. Go New York, go New York, go.
You still don't got the rhythm.
I got to work on it.
Yeah. But hey, let's go Knicks. Boston sucks. Pacers going down. Let's get it.
There we go. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for another episode of Boy Green Daily. Again, Aaron Glenn speaks tomorrow, so we'll have content on that, of course, as well, coming up on the show. Boy Green Meets Woody will be back on Thursday at 3 o'clock, so you guys can actually hit up the playlist here on my YouTube channel. Every Boy Green Meets Woody episode is all contained in one playlist, which makes it an easy place to do it, so you guys can hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode. We'll hit you back on Thursday, Boy Green Daily tomorrow, and wonderful content throughout the entire offseason. God bless, Woody. Thanks, everybody. See ya.